Hello, how's it going? Welcome to another Letterboxd Diaries. This is where I run through what I've been watching for the month that's just ended, which has been August. Yeah, not watched too many this month, not as much as usual. Been doing some other things, but I've got some movies in, some interesting ones. So let's get started. So I watched one on the first. I watched Dead of Night, aka Death Dream, from Bob Clark. You can see the poster there. I'll just pull it up. There's a look at it. There's the artwork for it, Death Dream. Yeah, strange little sort of like zombie movie. Some guy gets back from war and from Vietnam, I think. Yeah, Vietnam, as it says there. And his family realise there's some strange things going on with him, and he's not quite the same person as he was prior to going to the Vietnam War. And yeah, things just sort of like take a startling turn from there, really. And yeah, it's a good one. Don't want to give too much away, but basically he's kind of been resurrected. He got killed at war and he's been resurrected, and he's come back with a fiending for human flesh. So he's basically a zombie, but it's got a lot of interesting like little turns in the movie and stuff. Yeah, it's a good one. I rated it 4-star, 4 out of 5. I have watched it before, really enjoyed it when I watched it the first time, but it's gone up a little bit in my estimation. Fantastic Blu-ray from 101 Films as well is what I watched it on. That's Death Dream anyway. Get to the next one. Yeah, I think I picked you get alternative posters if you've got Letterboxd patron as well. You can like change the posters and stuff. On the second, the day after, I watched Insidious: The Red Door. So this is what is it? This is the 5th Insidious film, and it's a continuation from the first and second film, as the third and fourth films are prequels. So watched The Red Door, found it online, didn't go to the cinema. And to be quite frank about it, I found it quite disappointing. Here's a little look at the poster. I'll just pull that up. Yeah, I found Insidious: The Red Door quite disappointing. It's got Patrick Wilson in it and a lot of the cast from the original 2 films. Really liked Insidious from 2010. Thought it was a great sort of creepy, like ghostly, sort of haunted house movie with layers. But this Insidious: The Red Door, I just thought it was boring. It goes into the territory of astral projection. I've already seen a film called Astral a few years back, and it seems to have, that's more of an indie film, I believe. Astral, it's not as a well known a film, and it looks to me like the people have worked on The Red Door. But it's actually directed by Patrick Wilson, who stars in it, and he's in the first 2 Insidious films too. Not a bad actor, he's not too bad. It seems like the creators of Insidious: The Red Door have seen Astral and decided to incorporate that whole concept into their Insidious film, because it seems like a little bit of a carbon copy to some extent. It's even set on a university campus like Astral, so I didn't find this very interesting or original. There's a few little scares in it, a couple of good creepy bits. Like the scene when Patrick Wilson's character, I think it is in the he's having like a brain scan or something, and basically one of the creepy ghouls sort of like runs up inside, runs on top of him and comes and scares him. That was a pretty good scene. A lot of it though, just not that interesting to me. Found it a little bit repetitive, bit boring, didn't find the scares very creepy, thought the characters were quite boring in it. Yeah, and it just seems like a carbon copy of the film Astral to me, if you've ever seen that. I don't know if anyone's ever actually seen that movie, but that's what I got from it. Had a break for a bit from watching movies on the 7th, because I do log everything on Letterboxd for my own reference as well. I do that. So on the 7th, I watched Orphan again, which was a rewatch. As you can see, I've put the alternative poster there. I gave it 4 stars out of 5, which I did originally. Thought this was really good again. It's got a good twist in it. I don't know if I want to give the twist away. I could do a spoiler and give the twist away, but I won't. Basically about this couple who adopt a little girl into their family. They've also got a son and daughter, very young, and they adopt this young girl, and yeah, she's not quite what she seems, and she starts being very sinister towards the other children, and basically she starts killing people off and things, and there's a big reveal at the end. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but the reveal's quite good for the time. It's from 2009. I thought it was, when I first watched it especially, obviously watching it this time I knew the reveal, but yeah, I thought it was pretty fantastic. It's got quite good atmosphere and things. The acting's on point. Let's have a little look at it. Yeah, it's got Vera Farmiga in it, Peter Sarsgaard. Don't know the other actors and actresses in there, but yeah, Vera Farmiga does a good job as the mum in this one. There's the poster I chose on Letterboxd. Really nice artwork. But yeah, watched Orphan again. I think I watched the prequel from last year a little bit further on as well into the month. So run over this one quickly. Watched Night of the Animated Dead from 2021, and I gave it 2 stars out of 5. I didn't like this. It was an okay idea. I was quite excited about it being an animated adaptation of the George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. I thought it'd be great, but I watched it with my friend and we just found the animation too blocky. It was very basic and a bit blocky, bit stiff looking. They focused on the gore heavily, so the gore looked really good. It didn't add much to the storyline as well. It was pretty much a copy of the original, the story from the original film, which is fine to some extent if the animation would have been more exciting and vibrant, but it's pretty boring, really, pretty blocky, exactly the same as the original film beat-wise. They added a couple of bits to the backstory of some of the characters. They tried that, so they did add a couple of little bits in there, but not enough to warrant this film being made, in my opinion. Luckily, it's only 71 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome, but there's a look at the poster. Night of the Animated Dead. I wouldn't recommend this for I'd say go and watch one of the animated Batman movies or something instead of this, because I know they're not exactly horror, but this wasn't very good. Night of the Animated Dead, I didn't enjoy it. The animation left a little to be desired. Watched Notorious again. This is a rewatch from 2009. It's about the life of Christopher Wallace, the rapper from Brooklyn in New York, Biggie Smalls. Yeah, I've listened to some of his music in the past, pretty much all of it, and he's a good artist. But this film, I didn't even like it when it first came out because I watched it in 2009, years ago. I've had the Blu-ray for years, and I just find it kind of screams like a made-for-TV drama special. I know it had a theatrical release, but with this film, it hits a few of the beats of his life. Don't get me wrong, they do cover quite a lot in it, but as far as the acting goes and the way it's shot, the camera work and things, I just think it screams like made for TV kind of drama special. It doesn't feel like a big theatrical film, so I gave it 2.5 out of 5. That's probably what I gave it first time as well. I can't remember. I didn't have Letterboxd at the time, so I didn't rate films like that. But that's Notorious. I watched that on the 11th. Watched Orphan First Kill. Thought it was pretty fantastic. When I watched it last year for the first time, I actually gave it 4.5 stars, but it went down a little bit this time. I gave it 3.5. I don't think it's as good as the first film. It's got a brilliant twist in it. The twist in Orphan First Kill, which is a prequel to Orphan, is arguably better than the twist and reveal in Orphan, the original. The twist's really good. Watched Class of Nukem High on the 12th, Troma film. Yeah, brilliant. First time watch for me, loved it. Really fun movie. If you're looking for some fun sort of comedy, horror, very tongue-in-cheek, very silly, can't go wrong with Class of Nukem High, really. I'm just in the middle of watching the second one at the moment. I watched half of it the other night but didn't finish. I need to go back and watch that, but yeah, Class of Nukem High, fantastic. I gave that 4 out of 5. Here's a look at the poster. I picked this poster because they have alternative posters. There's a lot. Yeah, really fun. The synopsis is: the pupils at a high school next to a nuclear power plant start acting and looking strange after buying contaminated drugs from a plant worker. That's true, because they smoke this strange dope that's been contaminated with toxic waste and start mutating and things like that. And then also the waste gets into the water system of the high school and starts infecting people and stuff. And then there's a big showdown with a great big hideous creature at the end. Yeah, fantastically fun film. Watched A Big Gun Down on the 14th, Western, gave it 4 out of 5. Yeah, pretty impeccable Western film. Not seen many Westerns myself, but yeah, I love this. I thought it was great, starring Lee Van Cleef. Not seen many of his films either. Yeah, really good. He's basically a chase movie where he's after this suspected rapist and murderer, and he's trying to track him and hunt him down, and he gets into all sorts of gunslinging fights and showdowns with different outlaws and things. Yeah, it was great. So it's from 1967. I'll read the synopsis out. I'll put the cursor over it as well. Mr. Ugly comes to town. Unofficial lawman John Corbett hunts down Cuchillo Sanchez, a Mexican peasant accused of raping and killing a 12-year-old girl. So that's pretty much the premise of the film, and it's got a bit of a twist to it at the end. It's really good. Really enjoyed this one. Definitely makes me want to watch more of Lee Van Cleef's films, that's for sure. So after that, I watched just a quick one. I watched Aux, is it? AUX? Aux? I watched this on Amazon Prime. It was a British horror movie, quite a weird one, basically about this soldier who was kind of killed unnecessarily during World War II, and he comes back for revenge as a big zombie, and he's knocking people off and things. So I did write a little review on it as well. It has a couple of fairly good slashing moments, yeah it does, and even some of the actors are okay. Not that great though overall. Overall a forgettable film. It's entertaining enough and absurd enough for a one-time viewing. That's how I felt. Okay to pass like 80 minutes. It wasn't overly long. Wasn't very good. You've seen this type of thing before. It had a couple of ideas in there which were kind of good. A couple of the actors did a decent job, to be fair to them, but I wasn't keen on it. But it was interesting, it being sort of like a British, because you don't always see that many British horror films all the time nowadays. There's still a few out there and stuff, and a lot gets made, but I don't watch them that often, so it was quite interesting in that aspect. But yeah, anyway, on the 15th I watched The Toxic Avenger again. Great film. Watched this when I was younger. I've not seen it for years. Got my Blu-ray set with all 4 films in. Heard this is getting a remake as well at some point. But yeah, loved it. I did love it to some degree, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5. It could have maybe even gone up to a 4, but there's some crazy bits in there, some really funny stuff, and it's just hilarious how he becomes a Toxic Avenger. Like, you got these guys with driving a flatbed truck with toxic waste on the back in open canisters, like spilling everywhere, and they're snorting cocaine in the front of the truck. Toxic Avenger gets bullied and leaps through the window and lands in toxic waste and mutates and becomes a Toxic Avenger subsequently. Yeah, it's really funny. It's got some hilarious bits. There's even a bit where these people are so crazy, the bad characters, they go around knocking over children, and they just run over this kid, and the woman's like, oh, he's not dead, and they reverse over his head, and it shows it getting squished and everything. It's just insane. Yeah, great movie. A lot of fun. Really silly. Another trauma, like Class of Nukem High, another trauma movie. There's the poster I chose for my Letterboxd profile. Really good. 1984, directed by Lloyd Kaufman, Michael Hers. Obviously Lloyd Kaufman's the big chief at Troma or what have you, the main guy from them. Okay, what else did I watch? On the 18th, watched The Doom That Came to Gotham. That's a Batman animated film. Gave that 3 stars out of 5. Yeah, it's pretty good. The animation looked really superb. The plot was a bit all over the place, so I couldn't quite comprehend everything that was going on, and I was also talking a little bit throughout it. But some interesting characters in there as well. I mean, he's looking for the Penguin or something in the Arctic Circle. There's this creature that's been unleashed and can sort of take human form, things like that. It's very Lovecraftian. Now, I gave it 3 stars out of 5 because I thought the animation was really impressive. That's quite a new one as well from 2023. So I got the Blu-ray of that and watched it. Yeah, very Lovecraftian. So it is worth a look if you're a Batman fan, and especially a fan of the animated endeavours they do, DC, for Batman. Do check it out. Watch Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism on the 19th of August. I think this must have been a couple of weeks ago or something. From 1967, stars Christopher Lee. He's not in all of the film. He's kind of in the first 10 minutes and the last half an hour. But yeah, really, really good release from 88 Films on Blu-ray. Really enjoyed this one. So here's the synopsis. In the olden times, Count Regular is drawn and quartered for killing 12 virgins in his dungeon torture chamber. 35 years later, he comes back to seek revenge on the daughter of his intended 13th victim and the son of his prosecutor in order to attain immortal life. So yeah, he basically comes back, he's been resurrected and he's trying to become immortal. Yeah, really cool movie. There's the poster I picked. Pretty gruesome looking bit of poster. Obviously has an alternative title, Mad Doctor of Blood Island. That's a bit strange, but yeah, it suits. Pretty cool title, that as well. Picked up The Last House on the Left remake from 2009, 2009, the 4K from Arrow. So watched that last weekend. Gave it 3.5 out of 5. Pretty good remake, pretty stellar. I don't find it as gritty as the first film. Not the first film, sorry, the original from the 70s. I find that a little bit more gritty, the Wes Craven version, and it's the original, so I do prefer it. But yeah, pretty damn good remake. It's graphic, you know, it's pretty gnarly stuff. It's got a lot of like ultra violence in there. Yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. Pretty damn good. I have seen it before as well, but yeah, I gave that a 3.5. And the 4K looks great. They really did a good job, Arrow. Like, it looks very sharp and crisp. It looks really nice. Really good 4K. It's got a gritty sort of look to it in general, that film has, just like the original. And then the other day, on the 31st, this is the last film for August. I haven't watched the film since. I watched another 4K for the first time. I have seen the film before. It's Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, and I gave it 5 stars out of 5. Fantastic movie. I'd not seen the movie for over a decade. Revisiting it was just a joy. You know, it's got some great segments in there. John Travolta's great in it. Samuel L. Jackson. Uma Thurman was good in it. Harvey Keitel. Bruce Willis is in there. He plays the character Butch, who's the boxer. Really great film. The segments are just fantastic. There's some great dialogue as well as you get with Quentin Tarantino films. And yeah, sure everybody knows Pulp Fiction, really. There's a look at the alternative poster that I picked on Letterboxd. I'm not going to say too much about Pulp Fiction because everyone knows it's who likes movies generally the sort of opinion is it's a great film, and it is. It's fantastic. Loved watching it again. I couldn't even remember a lot of it. It had been that long. Anyway, that's all my watches for the month of August. So it's been quite a quick one this month. I'll probably watch more movies in September as there's a lot more releases coming out on 4K that I want to watch. Quite looking forward to a lot of the releases, like Blood and Black Lace from Arrow on 4K, Mario Bava Giallo, and The Wicker Man on 4K, of course. We're getting the Psycho box set from Arrow, all 4 films on 4K. I've seen all 4 of the films, but I'm looking forward to watching them in 4K. What else is coming out? Carlito's Way 4K, which I did have the standard 4K of, but I decided to get the Arrow, so I might not watch that one in September. But you know, there's loads coming out, and The Exorcist 4K in October. Can't wait for that. Pumpkinhead from Scream Factory, The Blob remake from Scream Factory, Night of the Demons 4K from Scream Factory. Yeah, loads of stuff coming out. My Bloody Valentine 4K is coming out in a few weeks from Scream Factory. I might pick that one up, although I do really love my Blu-ray that I have from them, but still. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Anyway, just a quick talk about what movies I've been watching. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.